Right, we are in the BYD Seal.
What noise does the Seal make?
I'm not going to make that noise.
No, that's a swan, isn't it?
It does sound like a swan. This is the 535 brake horsepower Excellence version. We've just been told that if you go for the lower spec, which is 4 grand less, you lose 200 brake horsepower. It's rear wheel drive, and the only other piece of kit that you lose is the heads-up display. Everything else is the same. So you get heated and cooled seats. You get the same nice trim on the doors. It's got like an Alcantara type thing and a leather type thing, because let's face it, probably neither of them are those things because of eco-friendliness. You do get a hell of a lot of kit. You get 2 wireless chargers in the centre. You get an NFC reader on the armrest, so you can use your phone, just put your phone on top of it to start the car, which is quite nice. And yeah, material quality, perceived quality, it's pretty good off the bat, I think. It's there's a really good reassuring clunk when you shut the doors. It feels nice and solid, and it's a good size considering it's, well, about the same price as a Mini Electric. So let's have a look and see what she drives like. Inside, well, you've got to make comparisons to a Tesla Model 3, haven't you? Because everyone's going to. The roof feels very familiar. Otherwise, there's definitely a few more buttons. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, to be completely honest. There's a button here for the lane keep assist. I can turn that off. There's a button here for the cruise control. There's just a few buttons, and I'd like to have a few buttons so I can see what it is that I'm doing when I need to do it. We're going to head to the Alpine circuit. Now I need an Alpine circuit then, just because it's a bit nicer. Gives you a better idea as well how these cars handle. Not in terms of their primary ride, but the composure in terms of their secondary ride. Because quite often we find with electric stuff, the initial ride, the bump thump bits, that's all fine. It's when you then change direction quickly and the car then needs to resettle itself, that's when we seem to suffer. But let's have a look and see. There's actually an Alpine in my rear view mirror, and I wondered if maybe that's why perhaps it popped into my head.
First impressions from the passenger seat. It's a bit jigglier than the Volvo, I would say.
It definitely is. It's quite smooth though. I can feel the road underneath my bum, and the suspension certainly feels stiff. So it'd be interesting to see what it does. I suspect we might surprise the Alpine when we get onto a straight a bit, and we can open it up a tad. Yeah, I mean, so this is an all-wheel drive one. It's clearly quite powerful, and I'm not putting a lot of power in. You get the feeling that there's stuff going on underneath you, but if I'm honest, the steering isn't the most communicative. And you can feel when you put your foot down that it really does want to deploy the power. But I'm not sure I've got the full level of confidence in this that I have in something with a little bit more feedback through the steering rather than just through my bum. There's no doubt that there's a huge amount of power, and it is very quick. Let's let the Alpine go through. Come on, off you go, son. And the i30N. And let's play catch up then, shall we? Right, so in front of us is an Ioniq 5N, which we drove last year and thought it was an excellent car, and certainly very quick. This has a good amount of power behind it, but I suspect that probably the Hyundai and the Alpine are having a bit more fun. It's a really quick car, there's no two ways about it, but do I feel fully in control of it? Well, yes, because I have my hands and feet doing that. But when you're pressing on, it just doesn't inspire quite that same level of confidence, in my opinion. That said, are you going to be travelling at that kind of pace in this car? Is it a track day car? No, it's not really. And actually, the rear-wheel drive 330 brake horsepower version is probably going to be enough for most people, I think. 330 horsepower is still quite a lot. There's the Chief Marshal there, keeping an eye out with a red flag for someone on the track. Thankfully, not me.
Not this time, anyway.
Not this time. Right, we swapped seats because, well, we reached the end of the track and we were having a lot of fun and giggling, and so yeah, we found ourselves back swapping drivers. So Jim is now in the hot seat, and here he is. We're behind a truck.
Another truck. First impressions. Yeah, it's not as composed, not as cosseting as the Volvo, is it? It's a little bit thumpier, a little bit less refined. Is that to be expected? I know BYD are newer at building cars, aren't they, than Volvo, certainly. But a lot of these companies have pinched people from different manufacturers, so I think although the manufacturer might not be that old, the people they have working there who do the ride handling, development, etc., have been around the block a few times, haven't they? So maybe newness isn't that much of an excuse, but I think it's a weight thing as well, isn't it? With an EV having just got out of a petrol engine car, and this is bonging away at me for some reason or another. And annoyingly, the noise sounds almost exactly like an iPhone when it starts or stops recording.
It does.
So I think you're starting and stopping recording, or I'm starting and stopping recording in my pocket, one of the two. But it's not. So no, but everything's quite logically laid out. The materials really are very nice, aren't they? Well, I will just get past this lorry here and use a bit of the power uphill if he'll move over.
And he won't.
And nope, he's not keen on being overtaken, so there we go. It's a iPhone camera buggy. Yeah, I mean, the materials, and as a place to sit, it's very nice indeed, isn't it? The feel, the fit and the finish of everything, it's actually, for the money, it knocks the spots off quite a few mainstream things that are priced at similar money or even higher. I mean, what have we got in the same sort of ballpark? I know this is a saloon and slightly unusual these days, so let's compare it to what, a 3 something or other BMW 3 Series. Material quality, not quite, but not far off, is it? Okay, we don't do the Mondeo anymore, but let's compare it to the Cougar. Material quality is way over and above the level of a Cougar, isn't it? Put your foot down, it goes in a quite undramatic way, I think, doesn't it? It's what power is this one? 500 and odd.
535, yeah.
I mean, it's certainly quick, but quite undramatic with it. So is that quite a good thing? I think that it's very well calibrated and all set up so that everything works well without too much fuss.
I think it depends whether you feel that it's connected to the surface. You know, I think the primary secondary ride, I think, is actually pretty decent.
The brake pedal is very long and not very reassuring. I would give it that much. There's a lot of travel on it, and when you're pressing it quite hard, I'd like that bit more resistance in it to know that there's something actually physically biting away there. It's quite spongy for my feel, and it puts the hazards on quite easily as well. But overall, I mean, how many times are you braking that hard in day-to-day driving? Not often. This is quite a nice thing just to waft around in, I think, isn't it? It's the material quality is nice, it's comfy, it's quiet, there's a lot to like about this, I think, isn't there? It's certainly, if you're looking at any car, electric or otherwise, it's well worth considering. I mean, there's loads of room in the back, it looks very plush and well appointed in the back, so yeah, I'm quite a fan of this, I think.
And so my closing thoughts on it, well, I think if you want a road car and you're considering other electric vehicles, you should definitely test drive this. If you're in the market for something like a Polestar 2, a 3 Series, or anything of that kind of ilk, and you like a traditional saloon shape as opposed to an SUV, it's well worth a look. It definitely impresses, and for the money that it is, just about 45 to 50, depending which version you're going for. It's a lot of money, it's still a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but that's the price that they are now, and you kind of have to accept that. Well, we do have to accept it, there's not much more we can do about it.
Well, you can not accept it, you just don't pay it.
We just don't buy one. But if you are looking to buy one, and let's face it, you may be looking to buy one as a company vehicle or whatever, and you're looking to spend someone else's money on it, yeah, I think it's well worth a drive and well worth considering.
Yeah, I think the price is relative, isn't it? Really, and let's face it, it's not 40, 45 or 50 grand, is it? It's whatever it costs as a deposit and whatever it costs per month. And there's always various manufacturers' incentives and low rate finance and this, that, the other. So it's yeah, probably more down to a monthly cost depending on what you're doing with it. Or as Mike just said there, it's salary sacrifice, benefit in kind, company car, that kind of thing. And there's certainly a lot of business being done EVs for company cars, isn't there? Private sales not quite so much at the moment. I think they're struggling a bit, but well, I think just as a car, I like it. Forget the electric argument. Quite a nice car to waft around in, I think.
However, what I will say, this is a 535 brake horsepower car, so it's a quick car. Does it suit it? Does it need it? Is this what you really want in this car? Well, it doesn't drive like a performance car. It doesn't drive like a super saloon. It doesn't drive like a truly normal fast car. It drives like a normal car, but just with a lot of power behind it. So I wouldn't go into expecting it to be a car that you'd go out and enjoy just as a weekend blast, in the same way that maybe you'd take out something with a similar sort of power, maybe an M5 or something of that kind of ilk. But it's yeah, it's, if you want a quick, sensible car, it's quite good fun. And yeah, in the context of these things, it's not going to be your track day car, it's not going to be an enthusiast car, I suspect, but it's certainly worth a drive. We've just jumped in the back of this thing quickly because we thought we'd like to show you. Seats are still where we left them, and there is, well, a lot of legroom.
There's loads of room in here.
Yeah. Although the seat could do with being a bit higher, just to be able to put my feet under, and my legs aren't on the seat, neither are yours.
No.
I'd imagine that would become quite tiring on a long journey. However, what is quite interesting, flat floor. There's a flat floor in the centre, so if you did have to take someone in the middle, there's a lot of shoulder room between the two of us, and it's quite light and bright back here because of the glass roof. I think it'd actually be quite pleasant to go in the back of for a reasonable hop.
Yeah, I think if you just tilted the seat base a little bit more, so either drop the back down or brought the front up a bit, just to give you a bit more support. But I think there's all the room in the world back here, isn't there?
There is.
Plenty.
And what's fascinating is there's some cars come really clean, probably haven't spotted that we're in the back. Because of the tinted windows. Excellent.